All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of the N1 Podcast. And before I start, I would like to let y'all know that I do write sports articles on Stadium Rant, and I do have an Instagram and _podcast. So check it out. Twitter as well, and one podcast 23. So come on, check it out. We got some good stuff over there, especially on the Instagram. But I wanna just say congrats to GOAT James for being the first player in NBA history to get 40,000 career points. But before I go on that little tangent, I would like to say this. Recently, I was watching Low, shout out to Low, one of the smartest basketball minds I know out there on YouTube. But he was reacting to Gilbert Arenas' podcast and how Gilbert Arenas was basically being racist, saying that the NBA should get rid of all the European players because the European players are the reason why. These are his words, by the way. The European players are the reasons why that defense is so bad in the NBA these days. That is a terrible, terrible take. And he said there's only two good defensive players from Europe in the NBA, being Rudy Gobert and Giannis Antetokounmpo. And he just ignored the league leader in blocks per game, Victor Wembanyama. Last time I checked, he's from France, and I remember France is in Europe, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, look, maybe I'm wrong. Okay, maybe geography class didn't teach me enough. But last time I checked, France was also in Europe, and the league leader in blocks per game today, who is also a rookie, is French. So, yeah. Now it's such a bad take in my opinion because you got to remember that the way basketball is taught over here versus how basketball is taught in other countries is completely different, all right? Look, here in America, we value entertainment in basketball, okay? The entertainment aspect. Even he mentioned, here in America, you're being taught how to jump and how to play defense and how to dunk and all of this stuff. Over there, you're not taught none of that stuff. I mean, like in Europe, you're taught more of the fundamentals of basketball. Over here, like I said, is the entertainment aspect. So yeah, you're not going to have that many hyper-athletic Europeans because that's not what they teach in Europe. They're not going to have that many great defensive perimeter defensive Europeans because they're not taught how to play in the ISO. They're not taught how to defend one-on-one. They're taught how to play team basketball. They're taught how to play team defense. All right? So that's a terrible take. Very racist as well. Get all the Europeans out the NBA? Imagine that. Imagine back in 1950. Imagine back in the 1960s. The white players were saying, get rid of all the black players. You see how bad that sounds? I just wanted to give my quick opinion on that. But, what do I know? I didn't play in the NBA, so maybe my opinion don't matter. But congratulations to GOAT James. GOAT James being the first ever player to reach 40,000 career points. I can't believe I witnessed that. I felt so blessed to witness that. Oh my God. And y'all are probably going to be like, oh my God, you got LeBron's meat at your mouth. Oh, Jordan is still better. Oh, Jordan is still the GOAT. This don't mean nothing for LeBron case. 6-0. Oh, man, bro, it's okay. It's okay. I get it. Jordan got suspended for gambling, all right? It's okay. Relax. 40K. But Jordan played less games. I didn't tell Jordan to gamble and get suspended for gambling. And even though they want to call it a retirement, you know damn well it was a suspension. I didn't tell Jordan to leave after 1998. I didn't tell Jordan to do that. So that's not my fault. But, let me not get the Jordan fans, the Bron haters so wild up just yet. But I want to talk about some NBA records. All right, I think that won't be able to be broken, and records that I think that could possibly be broken because this is just a great milestone that LeBron James has achieved. All right, and might as well start off with the all-time scoring record. Even though almost 40 years ago it was believed that nobody would pass Kareem. This time, it's best to say you can say that nobody is passing LeBron. Currently, he's at 40,017 points, okay? Not only that, but LeBron came into the league at just the young age of 18 years old, And if you're lucky, you can get into the league at 18 years old. But you would have to be super consistent, because this man, just because he has the all-time scoring record, doesn't mean that's the only scoring record he has, all right? This man also has the all-time playoff points record with 8,023 playoff points. He also has the record for the most consecutive games of having at least 10 points with 1,191, the most consecutive seasons of averaging at least 25 points per game, 19 points, and LeBron James is the youngest player to reach 1,000 points, 2,000 points, 3,000 points, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000, 11,000, 12,000, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, all the way up to 38,000 points. And now nobody has ever reached 39 and 40,000 career points. I mean, yeah, Jordan was a better scorer, a better shot creator, but the numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. The youngest player to get to all of those career point milestones, 19 straight years of averaging at least 25 points per game. And at the ripe age of 39 years old, he is averaging 25 points per game. But okay, Bron haters, okay, Jordan fans, I'm done talking about LeBron. You happy now? Okay, well, I'm going to get to another record, the all-time blocks record. Hakeem Olajuwon with the all-time blocks record with a career blocks of 3,830. Think about that, 3,830 career blocks. This has never been, you want to know why it's never going to be broken? First of all, Hakeem played 18, my bad, not 19, 18 seasons, that's one. Two, the most important one, the NBA has shifted a lot more to the perimeter. More offensive play on the perimeter, so way more threes, less mid-range shots, but way more threes, okay? And not to mention that a lot of players these days don't really want to go into the paint because of the three-point shot. So there's that. Hakeem Olajuwon in those 18 seasons, as I mentioned, 8 out of those 18 seasons, he got at least 3 blocks per game. And in 3 of those 8 seasons, he averaged at least 4 blocks per game, with the highest being 4.6 blocks per game. Yep. Oh my God. No, that's never being touched. And Dikembe Mutombo is right under him, and he's more than 500 blocks away from Hakeem Olajuwon. The closest current player to Hakeem's record is Brook Lopez. And his career blocks is 1,879. He hasn't even made it to 2,000 blocks yet. So yes, this record is never, ever gonna be broken. But the next record that I have that I think will never be broken is the rings. I mean, most rings by a player, 11 rings, Bill Russell, RIP. And 8 straight finals, come on, 8 straight rings. Okay, look, first reason, three-peats are very, very difficult, all right? That's one. 2, you have egos. You got a lot of players with different egos these days. Back in the day, they stayed on one team because, I mean, they were winning championships and they weren't being offered that much money. So, yeah, nowadays, you got players making a good $200 million for 5 years. You got players making a good $100 and something million for 3 years. So yeah, you're gonna have an ego, especially even though you were a role player, if you really contributed to that championship or multiple championships, you're gonna have an ego. You're gonna think, I'm on top of the world, I'm on top of the game, so I deserve a lot of money. And once the team offers you a lot of money, you're gonna probably send that contract away. Although that's not every player. Some players are more about loyalty. Damian Lillard, he should have came to Miami, bro. But some players are more about just winning the championships, so they'll stay with the team even if they're offered more money. But that's not all players. The only realistic reason I could see is being at the right place at the right time, a.k.a. Robert Horry. Now, no disrespect to Robert Horry, because that man was hitting big-time shots when it mattered. But 7 rings, all right? 7 rings. 2 with Houston in the 90s, 3 with the Lakers. He was in the Lakers three-peat. And 2 with the San Antonio Spurs. I mean, man, look. Right place at the right time. Yeah, he's got some very legendary shots, but, man, that's just luck. That's real luck. But the next record that I have that I think it will never be broken. This one is honestly the one that's never ever going to be touched. Wilt's rebounding records. 55 rebounds in one game. 27.2 rebounds per game in a season. No, that is never going to be touched. And let me talk about that 55 rebounding game, all right? First of all, he was a rookie that season. He was a rookie. And while he was on the Philadelphia Warriors, they were facing against the Boston Celtics. His greatest nemesis, Bill Russell. Bill Russell had 19 rebounds. This man, Wilt, had 55. Unfortunately, the Warriors lost by 3, but 55 rebounds in one game. The man almost out-rebounded the entire team by himself. The Celtics finished that game with 59 rebounds, bro. Oh my God. Now, what you would think that, okay, the Celtics didn't shoot that good. That's why they didn't have that many that's why Will got so many rebounds. No, it was actually the Warriors that shot bad. The Celtics shot 47% from the field. The Warriors shot 40% from the field. So, yeah, you think that, okay, he just got a bunch of defensive rebounds. But unfortunately, back in the day, they weren't tracking offensive and defensive rebounds. They just tracked rebounds. Now, 27.2 rebounds per game, which was his second season in the league, that's impressive. And even though I'm about to put some context in it, it's still very impressive, okay? So, first of all, he played almost every single minute. He averaged 47.8 minutes per game that season. Oh, also, by the way, that 55 rebound game, he played every minute. Okay, he played every second in that game, all 48 minutes. But 47.8 minutes per game, averaged 27.2 rebounds. That's one. Number two, you got to remember the league was very fast back in the day. And even though we don't have the stats, because stats weren't that advanced back in the day, we can use shot attempts. We got shot attempts, and we can see how many shots they took as a league average. All right, league average. And coincidentally, the 1960 to 61 season, which was 27.2 rebounds per game, that's also the peak in the NBA shot attempts per game. With 109 shot attempts, the NBA as a league, they averaged 109 shots attempted per game. And now let's put that in perspective. The NBA today is averaging about 89 shot attempts per game, right? And obviously, if you're shooting way more shots, you're not going to be as efficient. So the league, back in the day in 1961, they shot an abysmal 41% from the field. So, yeah, more shot attempts, obviously, that's going to be way less makes. And currently, the league today, with 89 shots attempted per game, the league is averaging about 47% from the field. 47% from the field with about 89 shots attempted per game. So, yeah, you're not getting 27 rebounds a game. Although you may have a game where you get like 20 rebounds. You might get a nice little 25 rebounds, maybe 30 rebounds if you're lucky enough. But no, 27 rebounds a game, that's not happening. But now another record that I think will be never to be broken. It's 2-1. Most consecutive games played by AC Green from 1986 to 2001 with 1,192 games played in a row. 15 years of just NBA basketball. Never missed a game for 15 straight years. And Robert Parrish with the most games played in a career with 1,611 games for his career. And I don't really need to go into detail why this will never be broken. 2 words. Resting players. That's all I'm going to say. And the next record that I have is the most total games played in a single season by Walt Bellamy. He played 88 games in an 82-game season. Now, here's why this strange occurrence happened. Back in the 1968 to 69 season, he was traded from the Knicks to the Pistons. And at that time, when he was traded, the Knicks played way more games than the Detroit Pistons. So, yeah, you have to play an extra couple more games. But when you think deep about it, I tried thinking about it. I'm like, wait, how is this possible? Because I know the most recent occurrence was Mikal Bridges when he got traded from Phoenix to Brooklyn, and he played 83 games because Brooklyn had played less games than Phoenix. But it's an 82-game season. So how the hell were you able to play 88 games? Like, I'm not even going to think about it. I'm not going to think about it because I don't want my brain hurting. Next record is a journeyman record. Most teams played in a career. Ish Smith. He's still in the NBA, by the way. 13 teams in 14 seasons. That's about like a team per season. And one season with like two teams. Yeah. Dang, this man played for almost half the NBA. Jeez. Man played for the Rockets, Grizzlies, Pistons, Wizards, Nuggets, Thunder, 76ers, Bucks, Suns, Pelicans, Magic, Warriors, and he's currently on the Hornets. Still, I mean, if you're playing 14 seasons, that means you're very, very productive. And with those 14 seasons under your belt, you got veteran presence in the league. And it's great that he's on the Hornets, especially with how dysfunctional that team is. You need some sort of veteran on that team. Now, not every record is positive. Not every record. Even though, would you like to call this one a positive? 13 teams in 14 seasons? I don't know. I don't think it's a negative. It's like neutral. But single season technical fouls. With how many times the refs blow these whistles, you would think that this one's going to be broken, but it's not. 41 technical fouls for Rasheed Wallace in the 2000 to 2001 season. This one is impossible to break because after 16 technical fouls, you get a 1-game suspension. And after that, each 2 technical fouls is another game suspension. So 18, suspended. 20, suspended. 22, suspended. You get the point. All right? And currently, Dylan Brooks is leading the league in technical fouls. No surprise there. With 14. And the season is almost over. But, he gets 2 more. He gets ejected 1 more time for technical fouls. He's getting suspended. So, next record that I have is, I hate talking about the Warriors, but 73-9. Yes, 73-9. I don't think that is ever going to be broken. But luckily, GOAT James stopped them from being the greatest team in NBA history with that 3-1 comeback. Jordan never did that. And the final one that I have, and even though this is not an NBA record, this is for college, massive props to Caitlin Clark. Yesterday, as of this recording, she passed Pete Maravich for all-time leading scorer in NCAA D1 basketball. Earlier this year, she passed Kelsey Plum for women's basketball. But now, she passed the man, too. And it's nice that it's also Women's History Month. Let's go. Go women, bro. Come on, let's go. This is not political. We talk basketball. But still, massive props to Caitlin Clark. I think she's the missing piece for the WNBA. Although I'm not going to talk about the WNBA because I don't want to be titled as sexist. But now I want to talk about some records that I believe can be possibly broken. And the first one that I want to start off with is season assists per game. Now, John Stockton has this record with about 14.5 assists per game in a season. And in my opinion, I think Tyrese Halliburton can do it. I think he can. Currently, he's averaging 11.4 assists per game. But if you give him some time, he could definitely get about 13 assists per game. Maybe one day, you never know, he could probably get 15 assists per game. But while on Tyrese Halliburton, I also think he could get the most assists in a game. The current record holder is Scott Skiles with 30. And earlier this season, this man literally had back-to-back games where he had 20-plus assists. First game, he had 20 assists. Next game, he had 23 assists. The Pacers are leading the league in points, and they're the second fastest team in the league. So give this man one more star and some more team bonding, some team chemistry. I could see him getting that 30 assists and passing that 30 assist game, as well as getting a championship too. Don't sleep on the Pacers. Now, with how the league feels about the three-point shot, it's only a matter of time until somebody passes Curry with all-time threes made. Currently, Steph Curry has 3,671 threes made per game. I said per game. For his career. Imagine making 3,000 threes per game. That's crazy. But, yeah, 3,000 threes for his entire career. And it's only a matter of time with how reliant the teams are with the three-point shot. It's only a matter of time until somebody cracks that 5,000 three-pointer milestone. And the one record that everybody thinks, I don't want to say everybody, but most people think will be broken, 100 points in a game. Now, we still don't have that footage, so it doesn't exist. I'm just playing. Nah, it's real. It's real. Even though I've seen a picture of him with MLK before I see that 100-point game. Very confusing, but it was the 60s, so, not every game was televised. But now, 100 points in a game, I think it's going to be broken. I really do. At first, prime James Harden was a great candidate for that, especially when he had, 60 points in 3 quarters, I believe. Another candidate back in the day, but I don't want to really say back in the day because just like a couple years ago, but another candidate just like a couple years ago was like Klay Thompson, because when Klay was hot, he was hot. 60 points in 3 quarters as well. But I mean, literally in 1 week, we had 2 70-point games. Joel Embiid was 70. Later on that week, we had Luka Doncic 73 points. That same night with 70 points for Embiid, we had Karl Anthony Towns scoring 60 points, and he had like 44 points in the first half. And then that same night with Luka scoring 73 points, we had Devin Booker scoring 60 points. So in literally 1 week, 2 70-point games, 2 60-point games. Both of those games for each day happened the same night. I don't know if you got what I just said, but 70 and 60, later on that week, 70 and 60. Yeah, 100 points is going to be broken one day. This one, I'm honestly surprised it hasn't been broken yet. But the most points in a playoff game, Jordan holds this record with 63 points. And like I said, think about it, bro. We had a 70-point game twice in 1 week, and still no current player has gotten 60 points in a playoff game. Although when you think about it, the game does slow down, defense gets more tight, so that plays a factor. But the closest we've gotten to was Jimmy Butler last season, 56 points against the Milwaukee Bucks. We're coming for y'all boys, all right? Just stay tuned. And 2020, Donovan Mitchell, 57 points in Game 1 against the Nuggets. That was a great game. Amazing game. Sadly, they lost that game. And finally, the final record that I want to bring up. This probably will never be broken, but I think somebody has the possibility of breaking it. Highest career point per game average, 30.1 points per game by Michael Jordan. And like I said, possibly unlikely to happen. But with how reliant the NBA is with three-pointers, and you got your top 3-point leaders averaging at least 30 points per game, Luka being the league leader with 34.5 points per game, and last season, the top 6 scoring leaders were averaging at least 30 points per game. It could possibly happen. It really can. Now, do I think it's going to happen anytime soon? I highly doubt it. But maybe one day a really gifted scorer is going to end his career with averaging about maybe 31 points per game. Maybe 30.5 points per game. I don't know. But it could possibly happen. You're going to have Jordan fans saying, oh, you're only saying that because you don't want Jordan to be on the top. You want LeBron to be on the top. No. It's just that we have a lot of gifted scorers in the NBA right now. We got NBA players scoring 30 points every night, basically. So, yeah, I think it could possibly happen. That's it. Relax. You want to say 6-0, 6-0? Okay, that's nice. Have the check got 8-0. What you want to say now? But let me not piss off the Braun haters. Let me not do that because, oh my God, I don't know nothing about basketball. But anyways, that's all I got for y'all today. So I'm out.